The WBC last night was great. And we were talking about on First Things First today, Rob, what other leagues could learn from it because it was such a great moment for baseball. And Nick Wright and I were talking about how, the NBA All-Star game obviously was just a joke. It was terrible this year. And what about making that American stars versus international stars? Would that improve the game? I think it would, because I definitely think, Rob, the international stars would come in wanting to play. You see Giannis already. He wants to compete in All-Star games, and most guys don't.
Right.
And so I think they would come out ready to kick butt.
So you think maybe doing like this WBC, Chris, where it would be the U.S. against the world?
Yep.
Is that, and maybe
I think it'd be great.
Yeah, where they're willing to play, and I get it. I mean, we talked about it before. There's no way around it, Chris. Injuries are a part of sports. We talked about Altuve with his thumb. We talked about Edwin Jackson, the Mets closer, who got hurt in the celebration. Like, you can't blame the WBC for that. And those just, it could have happened in any game, right? Could have been a spring training game against the Pirates.
Rob, if you wanted to be a stickler, you could complain about, did the Clippers really need that game last night? I mean, you know what I mean? It's just, you can't
play like that. Like, you just got to play. And sometimes people are going to get injured, Chris. It's like when people get sick. I can remember just saying to people, sometimes they go, woe is me, and I'm sick, and I'm in the hospital. And I say to them, stop it. I said, do you know how many hospitals there are and doctors? People get sick, Chris.
Right.
That you can't put that on you.
Right.
People get sick. Like there's no hospitals. There's one on every corner.
Right. Nah, I'm with you. I think, Rob, in this format, I do think for history's sake, because these are, notable things, how many times somebody made an all-star team, that can affect the Hall of Fame bid, right? And stuff like that. So I do think you would continue voting for the players, let the fans, the media, the coaches still vote for the all-stars as we typically do. East Coast, Eastern Conference, Western Conference, just for the honor, right? So you were named an all-star. If I was a player, I would be honored just to be named an all-star. But we don't play that game. Then you pick the American all-stars and the international all-stars, and they play, Rob. And I just think that the American players, I think everybody would compete. Because I definitely believe the international players would come out and want to compete, at least most of them. And so I think the Americans would have to, just to not get destroyed.
And you know what? You might be right in that not only in an exhibition, basically, tournament, the WBC, Japan competed, Chris. They wanted to win. And Shohei told us it's the best thing he ever did. Like you don't say that for like a kick around all-star game, or you know what I mean? Like, or something that, I mean, he said the best thing he's ever done. Wow.
Well, and I do think, Rob, and I think the American players definitely competed. I mean, you said it, they had the best hitting in the tournament. But I think it's just fair and honest to say we as a nation and probably our players, I mean, we don't look at it as big of a deal as some of the other countries. Probably most of the other countries. But I think going forward, Rob, we might. I think this year could kick it off. It's every 4 years, so that could lessen it, right? But I think, Rob, that going forward, I think there's going to be a bigger and bigger deal. And so, yeah, I think that could liven up the All-Star game. They've tried everything, Rob.
They have.
The Elam
and it just hasn't worked.
Right? The street ball, picking your own players. It just, I mean, they've tried it all.
They're out of ideas in the room.
Right.
Like Adam Silver looks over in the corner, Chris, and the guy goes, I got nothing.
Right.
I got nothing.
Exactly. It's just like, come on. And so let's throw it out to the listeners. 877-99 on
and Chris,
Fox.
let's say this. They have done this format, USA against the world, in the rookie game, but now make it right. Now make it for the big time stars like that.
Yep.
They have tried that.
And the rookies, it didn't take. They didn't really make them compete that hard. But I would hope, Rob, that they would compete in this game and play hard. It's the Odd Couple, Chris and Rob, 877-99 on Fox. Your turn to win. Would you like to see the NBA All-Star Game take a page out of the WBC and go American stars, Steph, LeBron, Ja, so on and so forth, versus international stars, Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, Luka, Shea? Oh my gosh, what a competition. Your turn to weigh in, 877-99 on Fox. It's the Odd Couple, Chris and Rob. Your thoughts?
All right, let's kick it off with Andy in Maine. Chris, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What up, Andy?
About the WBC, so I hope this isn't too far off of the context of what you want to talk about. But I see nothing wrong with beating your chest about being from the country that you're from. There's a reason Otani said that this is the biggest thing he's ever done. You know that if the champs were from Dominican or Puerto Rico or anybody else or anywhere else, that they would feel the same way. There's nothing wrong with being proud of where you're from. With all the anti-American sentiment that's coming from within the United States, right or wrong, I see nothing wrong with it.
I think we agree with that. Yeah, we have no problem with that.
I don't have any problem. I think our take was we hope that there's more coming for him and that's not going to be it as far as, you know what I mean? Like,
we
that's
were really
big
just
moment.
wanting to see him win. I mean, look, if he went to the Yankees or some other team and won a World Series, he still might feel like this because he was representing his country.
Sure.
Like this was the biggest moment. But we were basically just saying we hope he can get in a situation where he has a chance to win.
On a bigger stage,
On a
even
regular,
bigger than
yeah,
that. Yes.
on a regular,
Brandon in Riverside, California. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What up, B?
What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Always enjoying the show, man.
Thank you.
I would like to see after the All-Star game, the NBA All-Star game, what I just saw this year, like that was bad.
It was
That
trash.
was bad. I would love to see the USA versus international, because I'm not a huge baseball guy. You know, I can go to a baseball game and watch it, but to be honest, I was watching the highlights and I felt those guys' energy just from watching the highlights. That's how much they were into it, because it felt like it meant everything. And I would love for the NBA, just for those guys to just find that energy, that fun to just compete with each other. We're not telling you to go, give it, just hurt yourselves or just give it all you got for an exhibition game, but just make it enjoyable or something, man. But that's all I got.
And look, I don't think you have any more chance of getting hurt if you're out there playing as hard as you can than if you're out there going half speed. Rob, most players have told us that that's when you get hurt.
Right.
When you're not going all out.
When you're not going all out and you're overthinking, Chris.
Yep.
You can't go out there. It's got to be natural. You just have to play. You can't be like, I'm trying not to get hurt. That's when you get hurt.
Right.
Gary in Houston, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What up, Gary?
Yeah, Chris, your solution's not going to do anything. It's too minuscule. To me, the only way to fix the All-Star game, it's kind of extreme, but you got to force the players to play defense. And the only way I can think to force them to play defense is to make the game make a ticket.
I mean, I guess you're saying they'd be embarrassed by the other team having the ball.
Because
because
you want the ball. Like, you're not going to let them take open shots and then have the ball every time. You force them to play some defense.
I don't think that's the solution, though. I mean, I don't think that's the solution.
He wants them to do what?
Make it, take it.
No, we're not doing that.
Make it, take it. Nah, look, I think this might help. We'll ask Tracy Murray. He'll be up in a moment. Look, maybe it wouldn't, but I just think dudes would show some pride, Rob. Because, again, I do think the international guys would go out there and want to compete. And I think that seeing the competitiveness of the other teams, Rob. I mean, that couldn't have helped but make our American players take it more seriously. Like, these dudes out here playing. They ready trying to beat us, you know?